Hi everyone, welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Ariane Zurcher, and today we're going to be doing lesson number 3. We're going to continue embellishing shapes. This time it's going to be C, D, and E. Remember that these were not filmed in the sequence that I'm doing them here. I'm editing them so that we're concentrating on those shapes, and I'm editing out all the other stuff because I pulled out so many shapes. Don't forget to hit the like button, click on that subscribe button and the little bell that pops up for email notifications, and I love hearing from you, so leave me comments in the comments section. Let's continue embellishing the front of our River Rocks pouch. I'm now going over to this shape, and I'm using Silk and Pearl Ethiopian rocks. I'm using a number 24 chenille. I'm going to do a cable chain stitch around the edge here. Did a video on that. I'll put it up on the upper right corner. You do a wrap. So you go all the way around. Now I bring it around like this so that when I come in and I keep these pretty close together and I wrap that around the back of the needle. And what happens is you get a little cable right there from that one wrap. So wrap it around, go very close, and then I'm coming up again, wrapping my chain, pulling my needle through. So it gives you a little chain with a little cable between them. Someone said it looks like you're wrapping twice, and it does, but I'm not. I'm wrapping once. I want everything to be pretty small. This is a small piece of work. I'm using small stitches. I'm just going to keep going. So there it is. I think it's pretty. I want to be careful I don't get too big as I'm chatting here. Suddenly my chains get really large. I use Silk and Pearl, Oriental linen, and seagrass to stitch little colonial and French knots all on the inside. You may be wondering why on my River Rocks pouch I am now showing a video with my indigo vases project that was begun in a Sue Spargo workshop, which for any of you, by the way, who want a great workshop, that is an amazing workshop, as all of her workshops are. Okay, but that doesn't answer the question of why I'm using GIMP, and I'm using GIMP on a number 15 Milners. And here's the reason. Because when I was shooting 10 hours of video for my pouch, I neglected to videotape a couple of shapes entirely. And one of them is the shape that I should be doing right now, which is this one. It's just turkey work. So I'm just going to put a link for turkey work. It's done in an Oriental linen, and I covered the entire shape. The other one is this one. And I do everything, but I don't do the gimp in French knots, and I don't show the drizzle stitch, which I did in varying lengths, and 3 of them I beaded. All of this is in your instructions. This is a Silk and Pearl. This is GIMP. I am going to link to the drizzle stitch video that I did, and I show how to do a drizzle stitch, and I show how to do a drizzle stitch with beads. However, I have never shown how to do a French knot. There's another shape, this one, and these are colonial knots, and I didn't videotape those either. And then I'm talking, and the shape is like going off the camera, and then I'm just chattering away, and all you see is this. And I'm saying, oh, and now I'm doing, it's unusable. Can you hear the frustration in my voice? So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to do some French knots in GIMP and some colonial knots in GIMP in my background of my indigo vases. I'll do little clusters. And as you've noticed probably already, I am working in clusters with this pouch. I was sort of thinking of, clusters of little plant growth on a rock, and how moss, it'll be like a little bit of moss, and then there'll be a bare patch. Okay. Using my Sericotta and my 15 Milners. Threading GIMP is hard, and the only 2 needles that I can, well, there are 3, the long darner, but this one, the number 15 Milners, and the 18 chenille. The Milners is even easier than the chenille. So I'm going to come up, I'm going to do a little cluster of them right here. I'm just going to do 2 wraps because it's GIMP. It doesn't need more than that. You can even do 1. And there's 1. And I'm going to show you the back so you can see what it looks like. That's something that people always ask, like, well, how do you end GIMP? Because it's a cord, it's not thread, it's a cord. Okay, so we're going to do this. And now I'm going to do some colonial knots. So colonial knot, you put your cord here, you put your needle on top like this, you wrap it like this, and you wrap that cord around. So you're getting a figure 8 right there. Then you put your needle back down, not into the same hole, but next to it. You keep your index finger and thumb holding that thread while you go underneath and pull that through. And there's your colonial. And so do you see the difference? It's a slight difference. This is a French knot. This is a colonial. I'm going to do a couple more colonials right here so we get a little cluster. One of the shapes I do a cluster where they're really all next to each other. Shape C, which is what we're supposed to be working on today, it's not so much a cluster as it's just 5. So I can do one more right in there if I want. And then I'm going to show you how to end it. So they're pretty cool looking. So here's the back of my work. I have no layering to hide this under. So what I do is I make a knot. Now, if this is something that can't take the bulk of a knot in the back, I would weave it. And I did a video on threading and ending. If you put in the search engine threading and ending and my name, that video should come up. Okay. So I pull it through, and there it is. Now, if I want to, I can just wrap this around a couple of times just to secure it. And that's it. I'm going to clip it. It's not going anywhere. These videos are not meant to take the place of the instruction booklet. You are going to need the instruction booklet. You will not be able to make this project by just watching my videos because unlike when I did the Otter roll, this is much more, I'm not really sure how to describe the process, but it's a more fluid process where everything isn't so exact. In this shape here, I have a cluster of drizzle stitches at the bottom of the shape. And I think I say something like 5 colonial knots in GIMP scattered around the top. Oh, and I was going to show you these beads. Let me find them. I'm pretty sure I got these from Sue Spargo. These are the beads that I used for this project. These little metallic looking ones are the ones that I used for the 3 drizzle stitches here. I'm going to move on to this guy. Oh, and I don't know that I show this, but these are just French knots. And when I'm doing my French knots, I'm keeping them really loose. I'm not doing a really tight French knot. I did that on purpose. I wanted them to be kind of organic looking. I'm using my number 8 EZM 96 variegated eleganza. I'm going to do a double cast on with a number 3 Milner's. I could have done my bullion knot needle as well. And I'm starting at the edge here of my knot center. I'm going more towards the bottom, and I'm going to come right up to the end here for my double cast on. I alternate with my hands so that what I found was if I didn't alternate and I did each one like this with this hand, the whole thing twists up on me. So I've done 7 on each side. I'm going to do probably 20 on each side. so that's about 20 each. And now I'm going to pull this through. There's my one. I'm now going to come back to where this first stitch began in the center here, and I'm going to do another one just over here. So this is my Silk and Pearl Evergreen. I already added my number 5 weight EZM 89, and you can see where I've added it just sort of randomly. I even added a little bit inside a couple of these shapes. I'm going to do the same with this, the Evergreen Silk and Pearl. I've got it on a bullion knot needle, and I'm going to put a little French knot here. I'll do a 3 wrap French knot. Do a little cluster here. And then a few just kind of going off into doing a 2 wrap here. I think I'll do another 2 wrap here. Maybe one over here. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button and the little bell that pops up for email notifications. I love hearing from you. Leave me comments in the comments section, and don't forget to check out the description section where I'm leaving links for all the different materials I use for this pouch and in this video. Until next time, here's to stitching our River Rocks pouch together.